If Google Photos makes you feel uneasy when it comes to privacy, this might be the alternative you've been looking for, Ente. If Google Photos makes you uneasy on the privacy side, Ente might be the alternative you've been looking for. Google Photos is brilliant, but it's also built around analyzing your library to power search, facial recognition, and smart features, and not everyone wants that. In this video, I'll show you what Ente is, how it works, and who it's actually a good fit for. And stay to the end, because I'll share one thing you must understand before leaving Google Photos, no matter what you switch to. What Ente actually is. Ente is a private photo storage app built around end-to-end encryption. That means your photos are encrypted on your device before they are uploaded, and only you can unlock them. Even Ente can't see them. So it's privacy first. Some things are a little less magical than Google Photos, but the trade-off is control and peace of mind. Creating an Ente account. Before we get into using Ente day to day, let's start right at the beginning, creating an account. Go to ente.io and sign up, then download the phone version and the Mac or PC version of the program. When you sign up, Ente will ask for permissions to access your photos, especially on the phone app. That's essential. Without that access, it can't back up or store your images. So yes, you do need to allow photo access for it to work properly. One thing I do strongly recommend at this stage is to turn on two-factor authentication as soon as you've created your account. It's a simple extra step, but it adds a really important layer of protection, especially for something as personal as your photo library. Now, once your account is set up, you will see options to start using Ente straight away or to migrate photos from somewhere else. And this is where I want to pause and set expectations again. You can start fresh or migrate. Migration is optional, but if you already have photos in places like Google Photos, iCloud, Amazon Photos, or on your computer, Ente gives you the ways to bring those photos in while keeping the originals untouched. If you're coming from Google Photos, it's usually via Google Takeout. It works, but it can be fiddly and slow, so be patient. Start with a small batch first. Check it looks right, and don't delete anything from the original service until you verified your full import. Uploading and backing up photos in Ente. Let's start with how to get photos into Ente, because there are a few different ways to do this depending on the device you're using. Uploading on a computer. On a computer, uploading photos is very flexible. You can click the upload button and choose whether you want to upload individual files or entire folders from your computer. You can also choose to import a Google Takeout export. This lets you point Ente directly at the zip folders created by Google Takeout, rather than manually unpacking everything yourself. Another option is to import a folder directly, or simply drag and drop photos or folders straight into the Ente window and watch them upload. When you have made your selection, you can then select to just upload them or add them to an album. All of these methods do the same thing. They upload your photos in their original quality and preserve dates and metadata where possible. Using watch folders on a computer. On the desktop app, there's also a feature called Watch Folders. You'll find this in the menu on the left-hand side. When you add a watch folder, Ente will automatically back up anything you place into that folder going forward. Go to the menu on the left-hand side and select Watch Folder, select Add a Folder, then navigate to your folder. If you have more than one folder in your selected folder, you can add them into one album or separate ones. Make your selection and the photos will back up. This creates a one-way sync from your computer to Ente. Any new photos added to that folder will upload automatically in the background. The best part is if you then create another folder in that watched folder. If you have selected separate albums, it will add those new photos into an album with the same name as the folder. This is a great option if you regularly import photos to the same location and want backups to happen without thinking about it. Uploading and backing up on a phone. On the phone app, uploading works a little differently. In the top right-hand corner, you'll see a plus button. This is where you control backups. Instead of uploading individual photos, Ente backs up folders or albums from your camera roll. It's important to slow down here and choose intentionally. If you select everything without thinking, Ente will immediately start backing up a very large number of photos. Select only the folders you actually want backed up, and Ente will take care of the rest. Once selected, those folders will be backed up automatically whenever new photos are added. Once backup is set up, Ente runs continuously in the background. First-time backups can take a while, totally normal. Just let it run. Viewing and browsing photos. Before I show you Ente on screen, it's helpful to know that there are two main ways to use it: the desktop app on a Mac or PC and the phone app. They're slightly different in layout, but they work together, and once you know where things live in each one, Ente is very straightforward to use. Desktop app overview. On the Mac and PC apps, the main menu sits on the left-hand side of the screen. At the top of this menu, you can see how much storage you have remaining. Below that, you'll find the main areas of your photo library, including your main photos, categorized views, archived photos, and any hidden items. This is also where you'll find options related to managing storage and freeing up space, which I'll come back to later. The main part of the screen is where your photos appear. Once your photos are uploaded, you'll see options across the top for viewing all photos or jumping into specific albums. There's also a People section, which we'll cover later. Across the top of the screen, you'll see the search bar. This lets you quickly find photos as your library grows. As you scroll, more photos load in automatically. Overall, the desktop layout is designed to make browsing large libraries feel calm and uncluttered. Phone app overview. Now let's switch to the phone app because this is where the layout changes slightly. On the phone app, the main menu sits in the top left-hand corner. This is where you can see your storage usage, check backup status, manage features, and view notifications. Along the bottom of the screen, you'll see the main navigation. This includes your home view, your albums, sharing, and search. Just like on the desktop version, the top right-hand area is where you can add photos to your Ente library. Once you understand where these main areas live, switching between the desktop and phone versions becomes very intuitive. You're always looking at the same library, just through slightly different layouts. Sharing and collaboration in Ente. Here's the bit that really surprises people about Ente: sharing. Most private photo services lock everything down so tightly that sharing becomes awkward. Ente takes a different approach. It's privacy first, but it's still designed to let you share photos easily with friends, family, and collaborators. To share an album, open the album you want to share and click the share icon, which looks like a little person or group icon at the top of the screen. From here, you have two main ways to share. You can add people directly, or you can create a shareable link. Adding people to an album. If you choose to add people, you'll be asked to enter the email address linked to their Ente account. When you add someone, you also choose their level of access. Ente uses 3 permission levels: viewer, collaborator, and admin. Viewers can see all the photos in the album. They can download photos and save copies into their own library, but they can't change the shared album itself. Collaborators can do everything a viewer can do, plus they can add new photos and videos to the album. They can also remove photos that they personally uploaded. Admins can do more again. They can remove any photo from the album, add or remove people, and change participants' roles. However, even admins can't delete the entire album or permanently delete photos they don't own. The album owner has full control. Only the owner can manage link settings, delete the entire album, or fully remove photos owned by others. Sharing with a link. If you don't want to add people by account, or the people you're sharing with don't have Ente, you can create a shareable link. To do this, open the album and click Create Public Link, or Collect Photos, or Collaborative Link on a phone.
This creates an encrypted link that anyone can open. They don't need the Ente app and they don't need an account.
Once the link is created, you can manage the settings. You can decide whether people can just view photos or whether they can also add photos. You can enable comments and reactions, set an expiry date, and add a password if you want extra protection. But note, you can only have either a public or a collaborative link, not both. Sharing is available on all Ente plans, including the free tier. Free users can create public links, but there is a device limit of 5 devices per link. Paid plans remove this limit. Peer-to-peer sharing between Ente users works on all plans. If watching this is making you realise that your digital photos feel a bit all over the place, you're definitely not alone. Tools like Ente work best when your photos already have some structure, and that's exactly what I teach inside my Photo Mess Success courses. They walk you step by step through getting your photos sorted, organised and under control, whether you're on a PC or a Mac, so you're not just moving chaos from one app to another. If you want clear guidance, a proven process and support while you work through at your own pace, you can find out all the details at photomesssuccess.co.uk. But now let's carry on and look at these smart features inside Ente. Smart features. Ente does have smart features, but they're built with a different priority to Google Photos. The goal here isn't maximum automation, it is useful tools without handing your library over to server-side analysis. Free up space. If your phone storage is constantly full, this is one of the most practical features in Ente. Once your photos are backed up, Ente can remove the local copies from your phone to free up space. Your photos stay safely in Ente and you can download them again anytime.
To use it, open Settings, choose Free Up Space, followed by Free Up Device Space.
You'll see a screen showing how much space will be reclaimed before anything happens. When you confirm, Ente removes only the photos and videos that have already been successfully backed up. Anything that hasn't been backed up yet is protected and won't be deleted. Quick heads up, on iPhone and Android, you may also need to empty the recently deleted or trash to actually see the storage come back. Duplicate detection and cleanup. Ente also handles duplicates quietly in the background, which helps avoid wasted storage. And if you want to review them yourself, there's a duplicates view where you can check and delete deliberately. Nothing gets removed automatically.
On the desktop app and on your mobile, open the settings menu on the left and select Free Up Space and then Duplicates. Ente will highlight potential duplicates and let you review and delete them deliberately. There's also a large files view, which helps you spot unusually large photos or videos, so you can decide whether they still need to live in your main library.
Nothing is deleted automatically, you're always in control. Face recognition and search. This is where Ente feels most different from Google Photos. Ente does support facial recognition and smart search, but all of it happens on your device, not on Ente servers. Face recognition is turned off by default. You have to enable it manually. On the desktop, open Preferences, then Machine Learning and enable it there.
On your phone, just go to the Settings and Machine Learning and turn it on there.
When enabled, Ente detects faces in your photos, groups similar faces together and lets you name those groups so you can search by person. On your phone, you need to go to the search area to see people and name them. Crucially, your photos and face data never leave your device. Nothing is sent to Ente servers for analysis. One thing to expect, the first time you turn this on, it needs time to build the index, especially for large libraries. Let it run over Wi-Fi or do it on the desktop for speed. Pricing. Let's talk about pricing, because it's usually where people start wondering, what is the catch? You are not paying for flashy AI tricks. You're paying for privacy, encryption, and long-term protection of your photos. There's a free tier and then paid plans depending on how big your library is. The free plan gives you 10 gigabytes, which is enough to properly test the service, explore the apps, and see whether this privacy-first approach works for you. If you need more space, the paid plans scale up with your library size. The entry-level paid plans start at around 50 gigabytes at roughly $3 a month. One thing that's worth noting is that Ente stores your photos as multiple encrypted copies across different locations in Europe. That means you're protected not just against data loss, but also against everything being tied to a single server or country. Compared to Google Photos, the priorities are just different. Google gives you more free storage on paper, but it's shared across Gmail and Drive. And while Google paid plans often start cheaper, they're designed to keep you inside the Google wider ecosystem. Ente's pricing reflects a different choice. Fewer bells and whistles, but more control, stronger privacy, and independent infrastructure. The pros and cons of Ente. What I like about Ente. What I really respect about Ente is its stance on privacy. It's genuinely privacy first, not privacy as a marketing line. Your photos are end-to-end encrypted, which means even Ente can't see them. That alone will be a big deal for anyone who feels uncomfortable with their photos being analysed or processed by big tech companies. I also like how clear and transparent Ente is about its values. There's no vague language, no hidden trade-offs. You know exactly what you're signing up for and why the service exists. It's particularly well suited to people who feel uneasy about Google Photos or other big platforms and who want more control over where their photos live and how they're handled. And this one really matters to me as a photo organizer. Exporting your photos is straightforward. You are not locked in. You stay in control of your files without jumping through hoops or wrestling with something like Google Takeout. Where Ente falls down. Ente is not as polished as Google Photos, and that's important to say out loud. Google Photos has years of refinement behind it, and it shows, especially when it comes to editing tools. Features like Magic Eraser, automatic enhancements, and advanced AI editing just aren't there in Ente. Pricing is another consideration. On paper, Google offers a lower entry point for paid storage, especially if you're already paying for Google One. Ente isn't trying to win on price, it's selling a different value, but that still matters to some people. There's also a level of commitment involved. Moving your photos across does take time, especially if you're coming from Google Photos. It's not difficult, but it does require patience and willingness to let the migration run properly. And finally, Ente's smarter features like face recognition and search rely on local indexing. That means your device needs time to process everything before those features feel fully usable. It's a privacy win, but not instant gratification. Bringing it all together. Here's the big thing I promised at the start, and it matters whatever you switch to. If you're leaving Google Photos, you're not just changing an app, you're choosing a new trade-off. Google Photos wins on convenience and polish. Privacy-first tools like Ente win on control and encryption. So, if you want to choose Ente Photos, choose it because privacy really matters to you and you want true end-to-end encryption. You want full control over your photos with simple, transparent exporting. You're uncomfortable with your photos being analysed by big tech, and you're happy to trade a bit of polish for peace of mind. But stick with Google Photos if you rely heavily on advanced AI-powered editing tools, and you're deeply embedded in the Google ecosystem and value convenience above all else. And that's the key point. Switching away from Google Photos isn't about finding something better. It's about finding something that's better matches your values. There's no right or wrong choice here, only informed ones. If you want to make sure all of this organising effort sticks, I'd really recommend watching this little video next, where I show you how to integrate photo organising software into your daily delete. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more photo organising tips. Have fun rediscovering your memories. I'll see you in my next video.